My science experiment went wrong, now I am a girl. I never thought my life would amount to much. I was just another face in the crowd, just another quiet, unremarkable college student drowning in textbooks and lab reports. Science was my whole world, not because I had some grand vision of changing humanity, but because it was safe, predictable, logical. Unlike the chaos of social interactions or the constant pressure to fit in, the lab made sense. It had rules, formulas, and equations that always led to the right answer. Outside of that, I was a nobody. My name is Ethan Carter, and if you asked anyone about me, they'd probably struggle to remember. I wasn't popular. I wasn't athletic. I wasn't the guy people invited to parties, or the one girls whispered about in the hallways. I was just there, existing. A background character in everyone else's story. But that didn't mean I didn't want more. I'd never admit it, not even to myself most days, but deep down, I longed for something different. Something beyond late nights alone in the lab, beyond the monotony of equations and beakers. A life that wasn't dictated by expectations or the need to prove my worth through test scores. The problem was, I didn't know how to be more. So I buried those thoughts. I focused on what I was good at, science. That was my strength, my identity. If I couldn't be special, at least I could be smart. If I couldn't be seen, at least I could leave my mark in some way. That's why I threw myself into my latest project, a genetic regeneration serum. It was supposed to be my breakthrough, my way of proving I mattered. It had the potential to be revolutionary. In theory, it could enhance cellular regeneration, maybe even reverse the effects of aging or injuries. But deep down, there was another reason I was obsessed with it. I never told anyone, but I had always felt off, like something about me didn't quite fit. Like I was wearing a life that didn't belong to me. I had no words for it, no explanation, only a deep, restless longing for something else. I told myself it was just stress, that everyone felt this way sometimes. So I kept working, kept chasing answers, kept searching for something I didn't even understand. I had no idea that my experiment would change everything. That one decision, one moment of reckless ambition, would rewrite my entire existence. And for the first time in my life, I would finally understand who I was meant to be. It was past midnight when it happened. The dim glow of my computer screen was the only light in the lab, casting eerie shadows across the scattered equipment. I'd been working on the serum for months, tweaking the formula, running tests, hitting dead ends. But tonight was different. I stared at the vial of iridescent liquid in my gloved hand. This was it, version 9.3. Every calculation, every adjustment told me this batch was perfect. It was stable, safe, but theory wasn't proof. I needed a test subject. My gaze flickered to the cage in the corner of the lab. The white mouse inside twitched its whiskers, unaware that it was supposed to be my first success. I reached for the syringe, but then hesitated. What if it worked? What if this was the breakthrough that changed everything? Or what if it failed? Worse, what if it had side effects I hadn't accounted for? A reckless thought sparked in my mind. What if I tested it on myself? Don't be an idiot, Ethan, I muttered. But the idea dug its claws into my brain. If the serum did what I believed, it could revolutionize regenerative medicine. It could heal wounds, repair damaged tissue, maybe even alter genetic markers. Maybe it could fix whatever had always felt wrong inside me. I exhaled sharply, hands trembling as I loaded the syringe. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. It was insane. But wasn't that how discoveries were made? By taking risks. I rolled up my sleeve, found a vein, and, before I could second-guess myself, plunged the needle into my arm. A sharp sting, a rush of cold through my veins. Then silence. For a moment, nothing happened. My fingers tingled slightly, but that was probably just nerves. I let out a shaky laugh. Maybe I'd been too dramatic. Maybe I'd just injected myself with nothing but a glorified vitamin shot. Pain, white-hot and all-consuming. It ripped through me like fire, like my entire body was melting and reshaping itself all at once. I collapsed to the floor, barely able to scream. My vision blurred, my bones twisted, my skin burned. And then, everything went black. A dull, throbbing ache pulled me from unconsciousness. My body felt different. Lighter. Softer. I groaned, pressing a hand to my face as I tried to sit up. The cold floor of the lab pressed against my bare skin, and I shivered. Wait, bare skin? My eyes snapped open, and the breath hitched in my throat. My clothes, my lab coat, my t-shirt, my jeans, were all loose, pooling around me like they no longer fit. My hands trembled as I pushed myself up, my arms feeling thinner, weaker. Something was off. I staggered to my feet and stumbled toward the full-length mirror in the corner of the lab, my pulse pounding in my ears. My reflection stopped me dead in my tracks. A girl stared back at me, chest rising and falling rapidly. Wide, terrified eyes framed by long, dark lashes. Soft, delicate features that barely resembled my own. I swallowed hard, stepping closer. My fingers ghosted over my face, my lips, my cheekbones. Higher, more defined. My Adam's apple was gone. My shoulders, once broad, had narrowed. My hands, my waist, my everything. Smaller, rounder, foreign. No. This isn't real, I whispered. My voice, it was higher, smoother, almost melodic. Not mine. I gasped, gripping the sink as my vision swam. This was impossible. This couldn't be happening. But it was. Panic clawed at my throat. What had I done? How was I supposed to fix this? A knock on the lab door nearly sent me into cardiac arrest. Ethan, a familiar voice called. Claire, my lab partner, my only real friend. The one person who always tolerated my obsessive work habits, my tendency to lose myself in research. I froze. I couldn't let her see me like this. Ethan, are you in there? The handle jiggled. I saw the lights on. You weren't answering your phone. A pause. Are you okay? No, absolutely not. I scrambled for a response, but my body betrayed me. My knees wobbled, and before I could stop myself, I collapsed back against the counter with a loud thud. The door flew open. Ethan, what? Claire stopped short. Her brown eyes widened, darting over me, taking in the oversized clothes, the sheer shock on my face. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Who? Her voice trailed off. Who are you? My throat clenched. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Claire blinked, then shook her head. Wait. No way. No way. She took a hesitant step forward. Ethan. I nodded stiffly. She sucked in a sharp breath. Holy shit. I let out a dry, humorless laugh. That makes two of us. She approached cautiously, as if I might disappear at any moment. How? I gestured weakly at the scattered vials on the desk. The serum. It worked. Just not how I expected. Claire ran a hand through her messy ponytail, eyes scanning me from head to toe. You, Ethan, you seriously turned into a girl? That's what it looks like. A long silence. Then, this is insane, she breathed. Tell me about it. She crossed her arms, studying me carefully. How do you feel? I hesitated. That was the million-dollar question, wasn't it? How did I feel? Terrified? Yes. Confused? Definitely. But beneath the panic, beneath the overwhelming strangeness of it all, there was something else. A weight I hadn't realized I'd been carrying was suddenly gone, like I was breathing fully for the first time. And that scared me more than anything. I don't know, I admitted, voice barely above a whisper. I should be freaking out more, right? But I swallowed hard. It doesn't feel as wrong as I expected. Claire's expression softened. Maybe that says something. I shook my head. No, this is a mistake. I need to reverse it. I need to fix this. My voice wavered. I can't be like this forever. Claire sighed. Okay, let's think logically. Your serum altered your genetic markers, right? I nodded. Then, theoretically, we just need to tweak the formula to change you back. Her confidence was reassuring, but I could hear the uncertainty beneath it. Neither of us really knew what we were dealing with. Still, I latched onto her words like a lifeline. Right. Yes. I just need time. Claire hesitated. Then, with a smirk, she nudged my arm. Well, in the meantime, you might want to find some clothes that fit. I groaned, burying my face in my hands. Don't remind me. She laughed. Come on. I think I have some stuff at my place that'll work. I hesitated. Going to her place meant stepping out of the lab, out into the world where people could see me like this. But my baggy, ill-fitting clothes weren't an option. Claire must have seen my hesitation because she nudged me again, gentler this time. Look, you don't have to figure everything out right now. Just take it one step at a time. I exhaled slowly, one step at a time. I could do that. I had to. The first real test came sooner than I expected. Claire had convinced me to step outside, to go somewhere public. Just a small trip, she had said, brushing a few strands of hair from my face after helping me style it. It'll be good for you. I wasn't sure I agreed, but I let her drag me out anyway. We settled on a quiet coffee shop near campus. It was mid-afternoon, busy enough that we wouldn't stand out, but not so crowded that I'd have to push through waves of people. At first, everything seemed fine. I ordered a drink without stammering. The barista barely looked at me. I sat down across from Claire, hands wrapped around my cup, waiting for the panic to set in. It never did. I exhaled slowly. Maybe this wasn't so bad. Maybe I could handle this. And then I heard laughter. Not the friendly, casual kind. The sharp, knowing kind. I looked up and locked eyes with a group of students across the room. 3 guys, 1 girl. One of the guys, tall, broad-shouldered, familiar, was grinning in a way that made my stomach churn. My heart sank. Logan. He was in one of my classes. We had talked a few times. He used to call me Ethan, my man, whenever we ran into each other. And now, he was staring, whispering, laughing. My hands clenched around my cup. A hot flush crept up my neck, spreading to my cheeks. Claire noticed. "Hey," she said, leaning forward, voice soft but firm. "Ignore them." I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But Logan was already pushing back his chair, heading toward me. "Yo," he said, stopping by our table. His eyes flickered between me and Claire. "What's up?" Claire's expression darkened. "We're having coffee. Privately." Logan ignored her, still looking at me. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Ethan, man, is that you?" I froze. The whole cafe felt too loud. Every sound, every movement, every breath crashing over me like a tidal wave. I opened my mouth. No words came out. Claire, thankfully, had no such problem. "That's Elena," she said sharply. "And unless you got something nice to say, keep walking." Logan chuckled. "Relax, I'm just surprised. Didn't think you were into, this." His gaze swept over me, assessing, judging. "Or are you?" My stomach twisted. I could feel the walls closing in, the weight of the stairs around us pressing down on my skin. I needed to get out of here. Pushing back my chair, I stood abruptly. "I have to go." Claire shot Logan a death glare before grabbing her bag. "Yeah, we're leaving." Logan just smirked. "See you around, Elena." Underscore 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 underscore. I barely made it back to Claire's apartment before the dam broke. I collapsed onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. My whole body was shaking. Claire sat beside me, not touching me, but close enough that I felt her warmth. "You're okay," she murmured. "He's an ass." "That's not on you." My voice cracked. "I didn't think it would be that bad." She sighed. "Yeah, people suck sometimes." I let out a hollow laugh. "That's an understatement." Silence stretched between us. Then, quietly, Claire said, "You handled it better than you think." I lifted my head. I froze. "You left," she countered. "You didn't break down in front of him. You didn't let him control the situation. That's something." I wasn't sure if that counted as a victory. But later that night, as I stood in front of the mirror, studying my reflection, Elena's reflection, I realized something. Logan had seen me, recognized me, and for the first time, I wasn't sure whether that terrified me or thrilled me. The moment came unexpectedly. For weeks, I had danced on the edge of a decision, caught between fear and longing. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw 2 versions of myself, the one I had always been and the one I was slowly becoming. Then, one evening, Claire pulled a sleek, black dress from her closet and held it up with a knowing smile. "You're ready," she said. I hesitated. For what? For you. I stared at the dress, heart pounding. It wasn't just about the fabric or the way it shimmered under the light. It was what it represented. A choice. A commitment. A declaration. Claire stepped closer, placing a hand on my shoulder. You don't have to do this if you're not sure, she said gently. But for the first time, I was sure. I took the dress from her hands. I want this. The transformation wasn't just about putting on different clothes. It was about stepping into the person I had always been too afraid to see. Claire helped with my makeup, her steady hands applying eyeliner, mascara, a soft shade of lipstick. I watched in the mirror as my features softened, as the final traces of Ethan melted away. The dress fit like a second skin, hugging my figure in ways that felt foreign yet right. I slipped into a pair of heels, low ones, just enough to make me stand taller, more confident. And when I looked at myself again, I didn't see a disguise. I saw Elena. Claire let out a slow breath. Wow. I turned, nerves bubbling up. Too much. She shook her head, eyes shining. You look incredible. Something inside me clicked into place. I had spent so much time fearing how the world would see me. But in that moment, all that mattered was how I saw myself. And for the first time, I felt beautiful. Claire grinned, grabbing my hand. Come on, she said. Let's go show the world. And this time I didn't hesitate. The club was louder than I expected. Music pulsed through the floor, a steady rhythm matching my heartbeat. Dim lights cast shifting patterns over the sea of bodies, moving in sync, lost in the energy of the night. Claire led the way, her grip firm on my hand. Relax, she whispered, sensing my nerves. But how could I? Every step into the crowd felt like a test, like I was waiting for someone to notice, waiting for the stares, the judgment, the whispers. What if they saw through me? What if they knew? A pair of guys passed by, one glancing at me. My breath caught. But then he smiled. Just a brief, casual nod before moving on. The world didn't stop. Nobody pointed. Nobody laughed. I exhaled slowly. Claire leaned in. Told you, she said with a wink. At the bar, I hesitated before speaking. One, cranberry vodka, please. The bartender barely looked up. Coming right up. No second glance. No hesitation. For the first time, I realized they just saw a girl. The thought sent a rush of warmth through me. Claire clinked her glass against mine. To Elena! Hearing my name like that, spoken with certainty, with belief, it made something deep inside me unravel. A song I love came on. Claire grabbed my hand again, dragging me to the dance floor. No way. I laughed, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. And then, before I could protest again, I let go. The fear, the doubt, the voice in my head telling me I didn't belong. I let go. I swayed with the beat, letting the music move me, letting the moment consume me. I wasn't trapped in my head anymore. I was here, present, alive. And then I caught my reflection in the mirrored wall. A girl with flushed cheeks, eyes bright, lips curved into a smile that wasn't forced or rehearsed. I barely recognized her, but at the same time I knew her, because she had always been me. Claire squeezed my hand, her smile mirroring mine. I'm so proud of you. I didn't have to answer. I just laughed, pure, real free. The next morning, as sunlight streamed through my window, I stretched and let out a slow, contented sigh. For the first time in my life, I wasn't waking up dreading the day ahead. I padded over to the mirror, half expecting to see the old me staring back. But instead, there she was, Elena. My hair was a mess, makeup smudged from the night before, but none of that mattered. What mattered was the way I felt inside. Whole. Claire was sprawled on my couch, still half asleep. When she cracked one eye open, she smirked. Morning, gorgeous. I rolled my eyes but couldn't help but smile. Morning. She stretched. So how's it feel? I thought about it for a second. I feel like me. And that was the truth. Going out that night wasn't just about dressing up or playing pretend. It was about proving to myself that this wasn't just an experiment or some phase. It was real. It was me. The thought used to terrify me. Now it thrilled me. I had spent so long hiding, so long afraid of what people would think, what they would say. But in the end, the only opinion that truly mattered was mine. And I had finally given myself permission to exist. Claire grinned. So what now? I laughed. Now I figure out what's next. There were still challenges ahead. Not everyone would understand. Not everyone would accept me. But I wasn't alone. I had Claire. I had myself. And for now, that was enough. As I pulled my hair into a messy bun, I caught one last glimpse of my reflection. Not Ethan. Not someone pretending. Just Elena. And for the first time in my life, I was excited to see where she would go next. Self-discovery is never a straight path. It's messy, confusing, and sometimes terrifying. But in the end, the most important thing is learning to accept and embrace who you are. For so long, I was trapped by fear. Fear of judgment, fear of change, fear that maybe I was just wrong for feeling this way. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with discovering yourself. There's nothing wrong with being you. The world may not always understand. Some people might resist, and challenges will come. But the moment you stop fighting yourself, the moment you choose to live as you, that's when real freedom begins. Because happiness isn't about meeting other people's expectations. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. And when you finally step into the light of your own truth, you'll wonder why you ever hid in the first place.